I'm on silently.
Got it. Okay, guys, look, I'm going to warn you ahead of time. I'm giving you fair warning. Okay. I am stoked. I invested $30,000 in a coach this past week. And what I've got going, I'm really stoked. I'm pumped. I'm everything. I've got my kombucha, grapefruit juice, some blueberry pomegranate mix, and what else do I got in here? Green tea, good stuff. I mean, it'll make you stoked. So be warned. So hold on to your seats. Okay. Let's get this show rolling. It's called Show and Tell, and it's bringing your best of the seasoned agents. And then after that, I'm going to go and talk about the industry, where it's going, EXP, where it's going. You want to stay tuned. You don't want to multitask for this meeting. You're going to miss something. Also, I've got Sandy to say, I said, hey, stop by, say hello. Sandy, put your Friday webinar on the in the chat. Sandy's doing this multifamily thing. I'm stoked about that. I've invested in that. There's so many powerful things in this business, and we have guests on from other companies. When I'm going to be talking about EXP Realty today, I'm talking about the change in the industry that EXP Realty created. And it is not, EXP is the only one. You need to stay on and understand the industry. Also, I'm going to share with you a opportunity that you have that is going to be unbelievable. So hang in there. Don't multitask. And let me tell you something. If you can get Jessie Sample to show up for a meeting, look at this. She is just rocking and rolling up there. You're in what part of Virginia?
The Shenandoah Valley.
Shenandoah Valley. Anyways, Jessie, I haven't seen you so long.
I've been on and off. I don't join every day, but I join maybe like once a week. But sometimes I keep my camera off. And today I was like, it's fine. They can see me.
Yeah. Jessie, I encourage you to make Sandy's webinar on Friday. That will fit you with your business background and the way you took charge of your EXP Realty business when you first came on with the just brand new, just boom, roared into the business, right? She's a real businesswoman, I'll tell you. You're a thinker. So anyway, by the way, turn your cameras on, be like Gina, into it, really thinking deep, I love it, that energy. And so turn your camera on, say hello. Alice had her camera on, but now she's multitasking. She turned it off. I know what she's doing. So anyway, good to see Claire. Look at that. She's ready. Good. Yeah. Turn your camera on. It gives me some energy as well. There you go. All right. Okay. Look, let's get started. First of all, I put out there that this was a, come seasoned agents, with your career's best thought, best idea, your best, one of the things that just stick out to you. I have, a few of those from my career that really some things that, even if it's little things of something a mentor gave you. The one thing that created, I have to give a lot of credit to Charlie Tremendous Jones. Please look that man up on YouTube. He's now moved on to better real estate than we have here. It's all mansions and pure and all light and all love. We all came from love. We're going back to love. I don't care what anybody tells you. Don't believe it. We came from light. We're going back to light. So Charlie Tremendous Jones is up there enjoying some pure real estate. But when I was a young kid, 23 years old, my best advice in my entire career was, Fred, you will be the same person you are today, except 5 years from the day, except for two things: the people you meet and the books you read. And that has served my life. That has served every aspect of my life, whether it was, reaching the pinnacles of success or finances, or whether it was deep down in the pits of hell. That has served me so well. And so that was my best career advice. So I just wanted to throw that out there to get us started. So what was the best career advice you ever got when you're in the real estate business? What's the best technique you've used? So start raising your hands, because I want to dedicate the first 20 minutes to you. And then I'm going to come back and watch out. There's going to be a firestorm. Okay. And I'm going to tell you about some opportunities you have you don't want to miss. So who's going to start us off? Hi, I've got a $5 bill. Not going to get 10. I got 10. Hey, Liz. All right. Oh, hey, folks. Oh my gosh. Now, wait a minute. How many of you wanted to show her camera though? Come on. Go for it, Liz. Go for it. There she is. Go for it. You're muted. You're muted.
I'm doing my makeup, guys. I'm sorry. I'm getting
Oh,
ready for my day. So I'm going to turn my camera off so you're not
okay.
distracted.
Now look,
But
hold on 1 second. There is Liz. That's her number one secret. ATV, authentic, transparent, and vulnerable. Thank you, Liz. You know, some others will go, no, I'm not turning my camera on. All right, go ahead. Go for it.
so the number one thing that I can tell you is consistency. Consistency is absolutely everything. Nothing that we're going to do is going to come from one day to the next. You have to be consistent in your business. Everything works when you stick to it. So if you want to door knock, if you want to cold call, if you want to do open houses, you will see the business, but you gotta stick with it. So that is the number one thing that I've learned. There's a couple of other things, but that's the main thing that I know that has changed my business.
Fantastic. Thank you for that. Now, you're not, again, she was one that's born in a silver spoon in her mouth. They're so easy for her. She had all she needed to get her business going. BS. Go back and look at her interview with me on this exact call. You know, losing her house, the husband losing jobs during COVID. After how many years, Liz? 2 years? Retired your husband, right?
Yep. After 2 years, I was able to retire my husband. He's a stay-at-home dad and business is rocking and rolling. So he chooses to work in the food truck if he wants to.
There you go.
Not that he has to.
See, there you go. And he is, you know, just together, and again, that word consistency, thank you for that, because I mean, that's a great way to start this out. It's just, George Philbeck, right? Time over task over time, time over task over time, time over task over time. What's the difference between a big shot and a little shot? What is it? What's the difference between a big shot and a little shot? There are none, except the big shot is nothing more than a little shot, but they keep shooting. That's what I do. I just keep shooting. So go ahead. Jennifer. Oh, all right. Relentless effort. Thank you. All right. Who's next? Who's next? Come on. Don't be shy. Just speak up. Unmute yourself. Show and tell,
Do it
folks.
scared.
Who is that?
Do it scared.
Jennifer.
That's my best advice. Do it scared.
Do it what?
Do it scared.
Do it scared?
Yep.
I love it. Do it scared. That's right. Because, the fear of anything is not the fear of the item itself. It's the fear of your anticipation. When I
And the
made
fear of failure.
Yeah. And a lot of times, Jennifer, it's also the fear of success. We don't think we deserve it. That's the number one thing with the mindset. I'm going to talk about that in a second, because I'm going to give you a gift about that. So it's like this last week when I made that commitment, I go, and I said, I got to get over this anticipation. I need this person in my life. I need this person in my life to where I want to go, to become that person I want to become by pursuing that goal that I have. And it's not about the goal. It's not about the end. It's about the person I'll become in pursuing it. So do it scared. That's a great one. Last week, I was scared to death when I made the commitment I made. Anybody else? I was scared when I signed up for Sandy's thing. $500, $495. I don't know, for 90-minute webinar. I went, you know what? It's the thinking about it that you're scared of. Liz.
I was going to say, the next one that I live by is do things right. Do it the right way. Stop thinking with your freaking pockets. Stop having commission breath. When you do right by people, your business will multiply tenfold. I'm telling you, it is a blessing. I actually just experienced this. I had a client who needed a home really, really badly, and they wanted new construction, and we went to one builder versus another, and they were asking me my opinion, where one builder was paying out a flat rate of $2,000 on a $350,000 house, and the other one was paying 3%, where the better incentive came that way. Well, guess what? God blessed me because I did the right thing, and I told him, go with the house that's going to pay me less. And he blessed me with 2 clients that went under contract on new construction this week again. So when you do things the right way, guys, the universe rewards you. So just run a clean business and you will never fail.
Great advice. And I'm going to be talking about that. I have a little surprise for you. And I'm going to piggyback on that. Doing it right, doing it to your nature. Your nature is right. All right. Gina? Oh my gosh, folks. Listen, everyone give Gina, this lady, when I met her, oh my God. May we get authentic, transparent, and vulnerable, Gina? Unmute yourself. May
I'm
I?
here.
Do I have
Yes.
your permission?
Absolutely.
You promise. Here's a lady. How many years was your first marriage?
30.
What happened? He just abandoned you. He was horrible. He kept the kids. I mean, you have
Abusive.
no idea.
Yep.
And how many years were you divorced when you and I met?
Maybe like 7.
7. The first week I met Gina, she told me her story of how ugly that was 5, 6 different times. I said, Gina, you became your story. Stop it. Stop it. And you were struggling when you first got started with us, right? And I said,
well, I live through parental alienation every single day of my life. So I had grown children that I was a 24/7 mother, and I didn't need to work. I didn't have to work. He had a lot of money. He left me with 0. He was abusive, and he took my children, and he brainwashed them to think that he said I attacked him with a shotgun. I'm 5'1". I'm not carrying a shotgun.
all right, I'm not letting you
My
tell a
height.
story now. I'm not letting you tell a story because
All
that's
right.
been over for the
Well,
last
let
2
me
years.
talk then. I want to tell why I'm raised my hand. I raised my hand because Fred constantly kept saying to me, stop thinking about this. Stop thinking about the money. Stop thinking. You do what you need to do to make your business successful. And I constantly kept saying, I don't have the money. I don't have the money. And now, like Liz, my husband is home and he is working on my house because he's a remodeler. And I bought a house that needs to be remodeled. And I pay for everything. I pay for all the bills. He does not work. And well, he's working in my house. He says he's working, but he's really playing with my tortoises all day. But but I am paying all the bills that I never in a million years thought I could do. I mean, he left me with nothing. And I was 47. I'm 56 now. And I have a house. I have a car. I have everything is the house is not paid for, but I put a nice down payment down. But my car is paid. I have clothes. I was cruising prior to my tortoises, but I am fine. Like I never in a million years thought I'd be fine again. So it's crazy.
It's all in your head.
It's all in my head. I was so fixated on, I don't want to spend $1. I don't want to spend, how can I spend it? I don't have it. How can I do it? Now I send postcards out every single month. And I have 5 listings right now. I have 2 coming up, 3 coming up, and I have an inspection today. It's good. It's good if you believe it's okay. It's a lot. It's a lot. I mean, I'm not 20, and for me to take and go and start over again and get a job that I never needed to work, and it's fine. You can do it if you believe you can do it. And Fred was my cheerleader. Fred, you need a little skirt. You were my cheerleader, and you constantly kept saying, stop talking about it. Stop thinking about the past. And I don't think about the past. I mean, unfortunately, my children, I think about every day, but I do not think about the past because it doesn't help. And you don't get anywhere. You don't go forward, and you get stuck in your business and you don't go anywhere. So anybody that wants to ask me any questions later or whatever, text me, message me. I'll be more than happy to share whatever I know.
Yeah, and you know what? Ashley, I want you to invite Gina to your group, crisis, conquering crisis in community, because Gina needs to be in your group. Okay. But Gina, listen, you're right. And what happens when you have one foot in the past and one foot in the future? By the way, I'm not one when I tell you to do a life plan, or I'm not one of these goal setters and put a vision chart up and all that. I'm talking about creating a vision. When I do your 5-year SMOS or your 3-year SMOS or your 1-year SMOS, SMOS is a system of planning. Stands for situation, mission. You've got to know what your situation is and identify it well. Be honest with yourself. You've got to have a mission, and then you got to have objectives. It's got to be tangible, not a lot of, but something really tangible. So you got to really analyze that situation. You've got to have that mission. You've got to have objectives. Then you got to have strategies. So she started putting strategies in place. Then she had to do tactics and then do that, right? And when you talk about spending money, investment, just not spending money foolishly, but knowing that there's an unlimited supply of money and that it'll come back to you, that if you go ahead and invest, right? It's just the reality of it. So thank you for sharing. Sandy.
Okay, you mentioned invest. I can't stay quiet when that comes up. But I think for me, the biggest thing is getting in the right rooms. And listen, sometimes you have to pay money to get into the right rooms. But when you talk about what you're doing and you're in the wrong room, you're going to get people who care about you and love you. And they're going to look out for you by saying, well, that sounds a little bit too hyped up. Are you sure you can do that? Or is that possible? When I started paying to get in rooms with people who were doing bigger and better of what I wanted to do, when I started talking about what I was doing, it was kind of like, well, why are you doing just 12 doors? Do you realize that if you did 40, that would be the conversations were different. The expectations were different. I started thinking differently. So oftentimes, we take advice from the people we love and our friends and our coworkers. Those people, they don't have the same aspirations. They're not doing what you want to do. So taking advice from someone like that, it hurts you. So I guess my biggest takeaway is network, and get around people who are doing it bigger and better than what you want to do. Invest in yourself. You invest in marketing, you invest in your time and going out and working so hard every day. Like, start investing in yourself. That's where game changed for me 180. So I just wanted to share that.
And you're talking to someone that added almost $3 million to her net worth in the past 3 years. Okay. So I think you ought to pay a little attention to that. And I think you ought to show up at her Friday webinar, put that link in there again, because some other people joined it. Join that webinar. $495. You're going to get so much stuff out of that. It's crazy stuff that she paid probably $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 for, but it got her to a $3 million extra net worth. So go ahead, Sandy.
Absolutely. And I'll say to that, it is possible. What I was able to do in 3 years, 20 years of a 401k, doubled that amount. So what took me 20 years of putting in every single paycheck, investing in myself and learning what I was doing was no longer the right way in today's world. There are ways to make your money work for you instead of you working for your money constantly. So
and listen, I want to give the other side of that too. If you're sitting there, I have someone that I'm working with right now, tried the business and really struggled and blah, 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 blah. And I have not only one, I have tons. So one of the things this person, I said, look, I'm telling you right now, stop trying to do the real estate business because you're trying. And you can't, because you're on Maslow's hierarchy of needs. You're on level 1. You can't even hardly, because he said, Fred, I need to get, all I need is another deal to pay my bills. I said, it's not going to work. It's not going to happen. You got it with Maslow's hierarchy of needs, folks. You need to study that on YouTube and understand that. You've got to say, okay, I can't get to level 3 before I take care of level 1. How do you take care of level 1? You have a servant's heart. I shared with this person yesterday. I said, listen, I'm going to tell you right now, you're not going to like what I say, but you don't have a servant's heart. You've been waiting and trying, and you want rescue not to really be creative. And you don't, and you're such a wonderful human being. I know. I mean, I could feel it. But what good is it if you don't want to go out and serve? We think sometimes it just, so I said, let me ask you a question. I mean, it's tough for this person, really tough. And my heart goes out for him. I said, but I understand Maslow's hierarchy of needs, and I knew I couldn't help him. I can't bring you off of level 1. You got to do that. So I said, what is $15 an hour times 15? And we started playing with the numbers. I said, I can pay your bills for you in 1 month. He lit up. I said, what's 15 times 15? Figure that number up. I said, that's per week. In 1 month, all your bills are paid. Plus you'll have $5,000 in the bank, but you got to be willing to work 15 hours. Go and get a job at $15 an hour. Because where that came from, the call before that, someone I'm coaching or being involved with, is a poor woman who's going broke. She owns this carpet business. Now, she and her husband worked 30 years. She's going broke because she can't hire employees to clean carpets. Her business is going under. And here I have this call after. So folks, we got to get real about our lives, that Maslow's hierarchy of needs are so critical. You got to understand those. Okay. That's really important. So there's two sides. So if you're not on that level yet, and you say, I can't afford a $495 webinar on Friday with Sandy, even though she made $3 million in net worth, then there's something wrong. You need to get out there and work 15 hours a day and go out and serve. And I said, even if it's McDonald's, I think they're paying $15 an hour. I said, I know a carpet cleaning job, but unfortunately it's out of your area, but I'm sure there's all these other employers are dealing with the same thing. I have a grandson who's 17 years old. He's making $25 an hour, so, we got to get real about everything in our lives, Ashley, go ahead. Best advice.
Yeah. So just like everyone said, go ahead and invest and you'll start reaping the benefits. A lot of you know my story. My child's father passed away in October in a hit and run accident. I'm strapped for money, but I came across Fred because my investors were interested in a property he had listed. I saw that he was a coach, and even though that property wasn't able to go under contract or anything, I reached out and I said, you're a commercial coach. Like, can I get some help? What does that require? And that same week I said, you know what? I can't afford this. But then 2 days later, 3 days later, Fred, I turned around and I said, send me the contract, send me the document. I'm throwing it on a credit card and I'm getting ready to do this. And since then I've put a listing under contract. I'm going on a listing appointment today. Sandy and I are working on looking at some deals and running through those. And like you guys said, don't shoot too low, because I said this exact thing to Sandy yesterday. I said, there's a 204 door unit in Lexington, but I feel like that's too big. And she goes, no, go for it. So we're looking at the possibilities of all of this. And
Attitude. It's all attitude. Attitude.
Exactly.
And she's showing up Friday.
Yep.
She's showing up Friday. And here's a young single mom now, and she didn't tell you the rest of it. Not only did she lose her baby's father, but the father's family is just being very horrible. And she has to live with a relative. Look up her on if you're in EXP, go to Workplace and look up Conquering Crisis in Community. Look up Ashley Rodriguez. But anyway, I mean, it's all attitude, right? So next, anybody else? Come on, because then I'm going to go and get into my things and help you and give you some really great stuff. One more. Good stuff.
Fred, I'll go.
Yay, Jesse! How many of you want to
sorry.
camera? How many of you want a camera on?
No, I'm getting ready like
Liz, just a flash.
But I more so have a story that you made me think of. And I think this was 2 years ago now. I got a call from an attorney, and the attorney was like, I have this client and she's under contract for a home. I don't think you'll be able to get a commission, but she really just needs help. She's older, she needs help. And can you just maybe tell her about the building that she's under contract with, see if it's the right fit for her, because she's starting to freak out. I said, sure, no problem. I'll see if I can help her. Oh, I know. They wanted me to do a CMA for her. Basically, she wanted to know she wasn't overpaying for the unit. And I knew there was probably no commission in this. But I was, I wanted to better the relationship with the attorney, and you never know what can come from talking to a buyer. So I gave her a call and I was like, hey, I was connected. I don't even remember exactly who it was, but we were connected by an attorney, and I started talking to her. And within like the first 10 minutes of the conversation, I could tell she didn't want that condo. And I was like, I'll run the CMA for you. We'll do this. And she was like, but does Palm Beach have this? And does Palm Beach have that? And it had like nothing that she was looking for. And I was like, and if you want that stuff, like maybe you should start looking in Miami. She's very artsy, and, she just didn't know the area. She knew she had to move to Florida. She just didn't know where. So we started talking, and she was like, okay, this condo is like nothing that I wanted. Ended up pulling out, and literally it just came down to the fact she had never even seen it. It wasn't about price. It just wasn't in the area she wanted to be in. So we started working together. I'm now in 2 years, it's probably under 2 years with her. We're on our 4th transaction together. Every single one has been over $1 million. And it's just crazy. Now I'm doing my 3rd buy with her. I sold one of the listings that she bought. And every single one of those has been over $1 million. So it's just crazy. Like, you never know where opportunities can come from. That was probably one of my weirder ones, because it wasn't even a lead. It was literally just help this person out as a favor to me. And I did, and it definitely paid off.
Well, Jess, I'm so glad you spoke up, because that is what this business is all about. It's about service, service, service. I tell the story of Don King, who's been a great, great customer of mine. And it all started with one of my agents many years ago in 1990. Took a call, and someone was looking for a condo from Chicago. Not a big price condo, a little small thing. The guy drove him nuts, took him all over the place, blah, 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 blah. He just knew that the guy was looking for something here. He was an attorney from Chicago, and he wanted. And Marty put up with him, just giving service. I wouldn't give up, blah, 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 blah. So anyway, he finally bought a condo. And at the closing, he said, hey, listen, Marty, you're a great guy, and I trust you. I'm going to give you this card, but this card cannot be shared with anyone. And I want you to take care of my client. I came here first to check everything out. That's why I was looking so much around. I wanted to get feel for the area. Thank you. And he closed on his condo. He said, I want to give you this card, but you got to promise, raise your right hand. You're not going to disclose this to anyone, because it can't hit the media. And it was Don King's card with a cell number on the back. Cell number on the back of it. Yeah. So he said, the media can't get, if some of you are younger, you may not know Don King, but he is a big deal in the boxing world. Okay. Look him up, Don King. And so he says, I want you to call him, because he wants some real estate. You ready for this, folks? 7 properties he bought. Then Marty ended up sending him, selling him $13 million, 2 mansions back side by side on the ocean, blah, 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 blah. I ended up then taking over when Marty retired. I ended up taking it over, and I sold him. I sold him the Highlight Center for $6.5 million. It's now today's worth $100 million. In Palm Beach, 53 acres. And I sold so much of his real estate for him. And all because Scott Stapp, the lead singer of Creed, blah, 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 blah. I mean, these stories are in the real estate business, but the problem is people give up too soon. And that's where I'm going to go here in just a second. But I love that story. And I want Karen to go ahead. Jess, thank you for that.
Thank you.
Karen, now we got, look, man, hold on, folks. Here we go. Go ahead.
Good morning. How are you?
Good.
So I narrowed it down to 3 things I just wanted to pass on, and then I'll let you go. First is gratitude. You have to wake up every morning, first of all, being thankful for that you woke up, period. You're on the right side of the dirt. Be happy. You wake up happy, and good things will happen during the day. And it's not just talk. It does. It works. So just gratitude for everything, gratitude for your knowledge, your family, your faith, your friends, your coworkers, your past, present, and future customers. Be thankful for that. See it. And the second one is never stop learning. I mean, we saw that yesterday in our leader, George. He learned this ChatGPT, whatever it is, the artificial intelligence. He didn't have to learn anything new. but if you don't keep learning, you start losing it. You have to keep up with everything. I'm still learning. Fred, you're my inspiration to keep learning. I want to grow up to be like you. So just never stop learning. And if you need to learn something, call me. Seriously, I love to teach. Don't know which one I like better, learning or teaching, but I love to teach. So if anybody has an issue, I mean, you can't get in touch with your mentor or, people you usually call and you have a contract issue, call me. I'll be glad to help anyone. And that's the third one. I went to one of my first training sessions as a young agent, and I wasn't young when I got my license, but, and, they were going around the room and asking everybody their big why. And most of it was to make more money, have extra time, blah, blah, blah. They got to me, it's like, I really want to help people. And everybody laughed. Like, right, seriously. It's like, yeah, I do. I got my license because I saw a segment of the market that didn't really get the help that they needed. And that was first time home buyers. This was back in 2002, 2003, when, no one really wanted to make a $700 commission back then. Yep. I did it to help people. And that's how I grew my database. And that's how I got repeat customers so much to where I am now is, like someone mentioned, the commission breath agent, they don't get the callbacks. They don't get calls 8 years later from their buyers that they want to move up now. But if you do it with a true attitude of, I'm going to help this person. And like the last story, I just helped her and then look what it grew into. There's a lot of things I do that don't make money. Some of them aren't smart, but I do. But they usually turn into something big. So
fantastic, Karen. Amen. You know what? It's green and growing, or that means you become ripe and you are rotten. And there's a lot of that. That's our curse. That's our curse. And is that we become rotten. Right. And that's why I always stay green in all aspects and every subject, and I'm going to share some things with you that are incredible. So thank you for sharing that. Someone else just had their hand up, but they went back down. Who was that?
Oh,
Jamie.
that was me. That was me.
Oh, no, I saw Jamie though.
Oh.
I thought I saw Jamie, somebody. Jamie, were you there? Somebody? I thought I saw Jamie hand up or something. Okay. Anybody else? And then I'm going to kick in here and I want to talk about a number of things, some great opportunities. Okay, let me share my screen. And I want you to listen to this, that because it has a lot to do with a lot of what we were talking about. And some of you may have already seen it on Facebook because some of you are on my Facebook. By the way, you know what? Out of my entire group that have access to me, the people that are in my RevShare group in eXp Realty, how many of them do you think, percentage wise, really take advantage of my calendar and show up and bug the hell out of me? How many of you think take advantage of that? When I say bug the hell out of me, I mean in a good way. I tell people to do that. I tell people to hold me accountable, right? How many of in percentage wise do you think show up and take advantage of it?
Less than 1%.
Well, no more than that, fortunately. Thank God.
I was going to say 5%.
No, okay, it's more like 10%. And but that's why 90% of the people in the business, 10% of the people earn 90% of the income in this business is because we don't think we're entitled. Not entitled. We don't think we're worthy of it. We don't think. I have people a lot of times say, I don't want to bother you. I hate when I hear that from any of my folks. And I say, wait a minute. Why? You're not worthy to bother me? Come on, cut it out. So I want you to listen to this, okay? In case you haven't heard it. And I hope you could see the video because sometimes on Zoom and this doesn't, let's see.
Wow,
Can you see the video? Someone say yes.
Cold morning here in South Florida. It is 66 degrees. Anyway, I'm sitting here watching these palm trees in this high wind. And, look up the palm tree. They're not really trees. The way they're created, their makeup is more of a fiber, not the way a tree's created. Look it up. But I'm watching them in this really high wind. Believe me, there's a lot of high wind today, as you can hear. But I'm sitting here enjoying the sunrise. I said, we need to be like the palm tree, flexible. First, you know, in spite of crisis, circumstances, conflicts in your life, be flexible. That conflicts and the circumstances and the crisis in your life is nothing but high winds blowing. They're not a curse. They're there to serve you. It's there to bring out the very best in you. It's there to test your fiber, your being, the way you're really made. Look up the palm tree, the way it's made and created. Be true to your nature. Blessed are the flexible. They'll never be bent out of shape. That's what we need to be. We need to be a palm tree. We need to be flexible during crisis, during circumstances, during conflicts. Let them serve you. Let them make you dig deeper and make them bring out that true fiber, that true way that you're created. That's what they're there for. You know, the crisis and the circumstances and the conflicts are there to create character. That's what they're there for, to prove your true character. That's what this is doing with the palm tree. It's just showing their character. What does your character look like during crisis and conflicts and circumstances? Let it serve you, my friend. Blessed are the flexible. They'll never be bent out of shape. Welcome to a beautiful, beautiful sunrise this morning. So glad you stopped by. Blessed are the flexible. They'll never be bent out of shape. Be a palm tree. Be a palm tree. Let those crises and conflicts and circumstances bring out the true character. Your true character. It's there. It's already there. But you've got to allow the 3 C's to serve you. The conflicts, the circumstances, and the crisis. That's what it's about right there. That's what it's about seeing. It's all about the bright light in our lives. It's there, it's inside us. But we allow the winds to distract us, not the palm tree. They prove their true character. The stronger the wind, the more character that comes out. Be a palm tree, my friend. Be a palm tree.
Okay, how many of your palm trees? You know, and again, I invite you to the Mind Body Mastermind, and, you know, join this community, participate. Let me put this in the chat, and then I've got some really great business opportunities for you. Whoops, let me go back here. What happened to my, I had to mess with it. Let me see, where'd it go? My link disappeared on me. Okay. Let's go back here. There we go. Let's do it right this time. All right, copy. I'm putting it in the chat. If you're not a member of that, I want you to do that. You know, without misery, there's no miracles. Without miseries, there's no miracles. I'm going to put this link in here for you. This is A Course in Miracles. Now, some of you, it may not, you know, be your thing, or, you know, but look it up. Marianne Williamson, she said, we're not afraid of our darkness. We're afraid of our light. We're not afraid of, you know, who we're not. We're afraid of who we can become. So I'm going to put this link in there because there's daily lessons. I'm working with a couple that are going through a horrific, ugly time. And yesterday, you know, yesterday's lesson was, let me recognize my problems have been solved. Now, for some of those that, you know, but let me just, you know, I'm not going to read all this, but I'm going to encourage you to come back and, you know, use this link here. If you really want something really, you know, and I told her, I said, and after all the revelation, it finally came to a conclusion yesterday that a divorce was inevitable because she had spent many, many years it was inevitable. So now that it had come, that morning she was great. And so that afternoon she said, I'm stopping at the beach to read the lesson. Yes. And she started crying. I said, you're crying, but yet all your problems are now solved. Divine intelligence and divine integrity is looking out for you. It's time. Don't fight the misery. There's a miracle here. And you've got to recognize all your problems are solved. And once we realize that, and this one, it says salvation, this means salvation from what goes on in their life here, the here and now. Freedom from conflict has been given you. Accept that fact. And you are ready to take your rightful place in God's plan for salvation. And God's plan for salvation, if you're not comfortable saying God's plan for salvation, call it universe. He's fine with that. I call it divine intelligence and divine integrity. So, your only problem has been solved. So, and then that is to know it's solved. So that's what that's all about. So I encourage you to do that. Now, let's talk about the industry and EXP and changes and all this stuff. The reason that you see all these different things going on in the industry with companies, this is really critical. How many of you, a lot of people will make a change because they think it's going to better them. Okay. Now, a lot of you made a change and it bettered you. Other people make a change the opposite way. My own nephew, and some of you may not know this, but my own nephew, he decided that EXP, there's a better opportunity. Well, that's because he's not a palm tree. He's not staying true to his fiber because he's not respecting my wisdom. Okay. And I'm not saying that he made a mistake, because that's what life is made of, because divine intelligence, divine integrity may be leading him to something even bigger and better for his family. It's not a criticism. I'm just saying that it was more of an emotional decision. So we'll see. And there's no right decisions in life. Here's another key I want you to tell me. This is my other friend. Charlie Tremendous Jones taught me the same thing. Look him up on YouTube, Charlie Tremendous Jones. You'll find some old videos of him. He taught me, he said, Fred, there are no right decisions in life. There's no wrong decisions. People get so hung up on that. There are only decisions. And then you live to make them right. No matter what decision you make, you then live to make that decision right. So this is not a criticism or anything else, but I want to talk about the industry a second. And as I'm talking about that, I want to give you an opportunity in just a second. I'm going to give you a link that if you're with eXp Realty, you have a big opportunity to invite people to this meeting and just say, let me show you the kind of partners I have, because I'm your business partner. If you're with eXp Realty, I'm your business partner, no matter of rev share and all this other stuff. I'm here to help you. And if you take advantage of what I'm doing, and I keep changing it up intentionally to attract people to your group, but no one's taking advantage of it, even my own group. So I changed it up. And if you attend one, you're going to see that you expose people to this. You're going to have a different life. But here's what happened. The industry all the time, all the way before 2008, was a two-tier system. It was a kingdom. It was a kingdom run by kings called brokers. And then there were the servants called agents. And that's not a negative. It was beautiful. When I got into business in 1977, I couldn't use the name realtor. It was forbidden. I had to use the name realtor associate. That was set up in 1908. And the people who formed the National Association of Realtors, they were very genuine men, only men, ladies, by the way, it was only men. Thank God for all of you. You showed them, you took over. So anyway, they set this thing up and they were really concerned about all the bad dealings of people and bad blah, 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 blah. So in the middle of the night, they're like a mob. No one knows this. In the middle of the night, it dawned on one of them. Oh my God, we've got all these states paying attention to us and we're writing all these laws and that things should happen and that the states are going to all pass these. Wait a minute. Let's put this in here. We're brokers and no one could practice real estate without us. Can you imagine? That would be called a monopoly today. And that's what they created. They created a Realtors Association, National Association of Realtors. And everyone just patted them on the back and you're so wonderful, blah, 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 blah. But what no one understood is that they pulled a trick. They convinced every state in this country that no one could practice being a broker until, and some of the states used to have a 10-year rule. Then it got down to 5. And then it got down to 3. In Florida, it's 1. So it was really a bad system, but it was an okay system. It was good. It worked. So when I got into business, you couldn't find a broker who would pay you more than 50-50. I guarantee you not, but you chose a company based upon what services they offered and how good of products they had that you can go out to sell. You were truly a salesperson representing that company. I love the company I started with. So fast forward, who broke that? Who broke that? Who broke that kingdom in two? They blew it up. The first business disruptor. Who was it? Someone speak up. What company? 1970s. 1973. Who interrupted? Who? Hey, amen. Remax. Remax. He paid attention to my presentation. Him, see. So Remax came along, and they said, "Hey guys, listen up. You get 100% commission." Now we all know every analysis I've ever done on any Remax agent, they equal about 82, 83, 84%. One time they pay all the fees, they pay this, pay that, blah 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 blah. But oh my gosh, he blew the world up. Everyone hated him. He got hate mail. He got threats. He got this. He got that. But that opened up Pandora's box. Agents started saying, "Man, I think I could do more." I was just coming into management during this time. Oh my gosh, every meeting was and everyone fought it. I said, you know what? I started interviewing Remax brokers. I said, I want to understand this. So that's what I did. I love where I was. I wanted to understand it. So now David Linenger has a heyday. He has a heyday. He got up to $300 million net worth, all on the backs of agents. And when I say backs, he still had kept the same infrastructure because that's what we were used to. So that went on for 10 years. 10 years, he had a heyday. Who disrupted the industry second time? Somebody tell me. 1983. Who disrupted it? Gary Keller.
KW.
Gary Keller came along. He said, "Hey guys," and he really put a dent in Remax. But did they go out of business? No. He said, "Hey guys." He just took a lot of the dead weight from Remax. But anyway, he said, "Man, I'm going to give you some profit share. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that." Blah, 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 blah. Now that's gone on since 1983. Fast forward to 1988 1988. Okay. So I'm sorry, 2008. Think about that. Okay. All the way to 2008, no real big business disruptors like those two. But there's a man that went to work for Keller Williams. Okay. Went to work for Keller Williams in 2002. Named Glenn Sanford. He was a tech guy, came from AOL, and he said, "Look, this is a kind of strange business, but I love it." And with his tech ability, he built a $60 million team not overnight, but in a very, very quick time. He loved it. He loved his agents. He loved everything about it. So in 2008, when the crisis came, and he always would say, "This system's broken. This system broken. We ought to be more technology. We could do this. We could do that." And so then he started having some concepts. I might be able to build a real estate company in the cloud. So anyway, 2008, what pushed him off, made him make that decision was passion. He saw all his friends he had made during that years in practice, those 6 years practicing, standing in line, filing bankruptcy because of the system, the conventional system, after selling real estate for 20 years, didn't have a pot to piss in, and now a window to throw it out of. Not even a window to throw it out of. Okay. So he said, "This is horrible." So he got 25 people in a room. He said, "Folks, no more brokers. We're not paying brokers any more commissions." Most of you don't know this. Most of the high-end EXP realty people don't even realize we don't pay brokers any commissions. We pay them salaries. That commission is paid to your 6 partners above. Every single one of you ought to bug the hell out of everybody above you in EXP. Seriously. If you got someone, have a good sponsor, go to the next one. If that doesn't work, go to the next one. If that doesn't work, go to the next. Every time you do a deal, you've got 6 people that are getting compensated because of that. What a beautiful system. Make the calls. Depend on them. Stir them up. Be a squeaky wheel. Be a squeaky wheel. This system is so beautiful, and everyone's, "Oh yeah, but Robert Palmer's coming along and he's going to do." Yes, he's going to make a dent. He's going to help. He's going to do to EXP what Keller Williams did to Remax. Take a lot of the dead weight. Take a lot of those people that aren't business people. Take a lot of people that are not really focused, right? People like my own nephew, who's not a palm tree. He's not a big business thinker. Folks, here's what EXP is in a nutshell. Now, and I'm not selling EXP. It's not for everyone. EXP is like when an attorney comes out of law school, there's 2 things. They can either go in their own practice if they have a parent to back them up and have enough money, or they go to work for a law firm. After they get some money, then they go start their own thing. That's what a lot of them do. But the real big deals are when you work for a law firm about 10 years and you get tapped on that shoulder one day. "Hey man, Fred, you've done a great job. Why don't you become a partner of the firm?" You see it all the time on movies, right? The partnership is great. Well, EXP Realty started that from day one. So those first 25 people said, this is our company. We own it. We're not paying brokers any more commissions. We're going to have 7 partners. And EXP only takes a small piece of all that money off of those 6 partners above you. Every month I get a little adjustment and I love it. I love it. Wow. What a great system. Not for everybody, but now here's the situation. Here's the situation is that you've got to show up at meetings. You've got to hold people accountable. You got to hold your direct partner accountable. You got to hold your second level person accountable. You got to say, do you have a calendar link? I want a calendar link. You ought to have Calendly. You're paying them. They work for you. They work for you. Okay. So now let me go into the opportunities you have. So I want you to get that mindset. Okay. Now here's the thing. You've been tapped on the shoulder to be a partner. You can earn 100% commission consistently as soon as you get about 5 agents in your first level and then move that up. If you hold people accountable to help you, hold them accountable. Now I'm going to do something for every single one of you that is unheard of. I'm going to invite you. Okay. I'm going to invite you. Let me share my screen. And because I'm not going to be around for a month or so, and I want you to have an advantage, an opportunity. I'm going to leave you with this. And that is, I want you to go to the THERERC.com. And by the way, the Real Estate Resource Center is sponsored by Smart Mortgage. And I have another sponsor joining me so I can give. And so if you need a little help, I don't mind you calling me and I'll help you. But, I want you to help people that help me. So it's a scratch your back, you scratch my back kind of thing. So I've changed this up quite a bit from what I've been doing. I'm going to play this video for you. Whoop.
Hello there,
Oh,
Fred.
that's the wrong one. They didn't update it yet. Okay. So they're still up there. Anyway, there's a new one. But anyway, this is all, we just did the new one this morning. Are 50% passive referral fees possible? Absolutely. We host webinars every Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday. Event starts at 11:59 sharp. No admittance after 12:03. And I'm not kidding. Don't show up at 12:03 and a half. Increase income formula in 55 minutes, 50% passive referral fees, and increased luxury and commercial opportunities you are missing every day. $50,000 to $1 million increased annual income. Folks, there's a gal in Chicago that just received a $235,000 referral fee. Hello, $235,000 referral fee, a residential agent. She didn't know when she was selling a house that someone said, do you do commercial? She said, we have a commercial division. Unlike Chris Dove, who's on the call when I first met her, I said, you always keep your antennas up. Stop branding yourself as a house expert. You're a real estate expert. And 8 days later, she was doing a $1,750,000 general store. Now, this is not BS. I've done this over and over again. $15 million apartment building. Agent got 50%. $6.2 million marina, 50%. The marina next door, $3 million. So I'm now going to go out and become this 50% referral fee king. And the same way, when you invite people on this call, they're going to get exposure to your business partner. Everybody on this call, I'm your business partner. They're going to make a lot of money. I'm going to offer them the luxury program. It's a $300 a month program. They have to pay only 1 month and they get the full year. So I want to give some quality to you so you don't start getting tempted to look at these other systems that have the glitter but don't have what we have. I've been on the phone. We just brought another agent on in Italy. These opportunities aren't available somewhere else. You just got to start taking advantage of the power that's in this organization. My own folks that are on this call, I want you to bug the hell out of me for anything and everything. But you got to invite people to this call to meet your business partner so I can help you get to that 110% commission split. Constantly with EXP, you're a partner in this firm. The whole idea is you come in and you pay your dues for a year, year and a half, 2 years. You shouldn't be paying dues anymore. You should be at the 110% and helping other people and lifting them up. That's the beauty of the system. All the shiny objects of all these new things that are coming, Real and Fathom and all them, beautiful systems. They're going to make an impact on EXP, but they're going to do the same thing Keller did to RE/MAX, take the dead weight. Don't become dead weight. Be a big thinker. Be a big thinker. And one more thing. So this is changing. They didn't get it changed this morning at 4 o'clock this morning. We were changing it, so they didn't upload them yet. So THERERC.com, THERERC.com. I'm here for you to do all your heavy lifting. But now you've got to make sure you tell me ahead of time who the people you invite so we can keep it organized for you, but they don't need to know anything else. I'm your business partner. Okay. And I want every one of you on this call, I want you to this week, make yourself a commitment. You are going to text every single person in your partnership level. I want, if it's me, then go to Paul Saperstein and then go to George Philbeck. I want you to communicate with Jeff Willems. And I want you to say, hey, Jeff, I'm Mary Sue. I'm not really doing a whole lot yet, but I'm really working on this. And Fred told me to reach out to you, say hello, so you know who I am. He has a team of about 40 people. They do 700 deals a year. He'll talk to you. He'll get on a Zoom with you. Then go to Brent Gove. Brent Gove helped me with Jacopo. My Italy connection. Paul got that lead and couldn't handle it. So Paul's smart. I'm in his line. So he said, hey, Fred, I can't handle a guy like this. Right? Because now we're all sharing in it. What a beautiful system. And my nephew walks away from it because he's not a palm tree. Please be a palm tree. Be flexible. Don't let please. Now, let me go here. What I want to do is I want to show you this. This is what we need. It's all in your head. You've heard a lot of that this morning. I want you to join this group, Mind, Body, Mastermind, please. And I don't post these things lightly. I study them. I go, oh my gosh, this is so beneficial. Neuroplasticity. You need neuroplasticity if things are not going well. We talked about becoming a servant and become a servant's heart. Study Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Find out what level you're on. If you're on the bottom rung, then keep your license with us. Tune in with me. But meanwhile, go get a job and be the best. I don't care if it's at McDonald's. I don't care if it's at Home Depot. I don't care where it is. Publix. Go get a job and be the best you. If you have a decent car, become an Uber driver and a Lyft driver, and be honest, be authentic and transparent and vulnerable with the people you get in your car. Have some waters in the back. Have different phone chargers in the back. Have a few snacks in the back. And when you get in your car, say, hey, and make sure you try to hang out around areas that are people a little bit higher end. You say, hey, folks, I just want to be really candid with you. I'm in the real estate business, but I wasn't really doing well, and I don't know the area well enough. And that's why, because I'm new to the area. And I thought the best way to do this is meet beautiful people. And thank you for getting in my car. As I'm going along, if you wouldn't mind, would you give me a tour of this area and tell me a little bit about the area so I can get to know? Because I don't want to do this the rest of my life. I really want to practice my craft. I love helping people. That's why I'm doing this. Folks, I've got one person, $1.1 million deal picked up by driving Uber. He was on the bottom. He was on Maslow's hierarchies of need. Okay. So please tune in to Mind, Body, Mastermind. Get this article. You need this. You need this neuroplasticity. Okay. Read this article. So with that, I want to open to some questions and answers. And you are with if you're with EXP, you're with a beautiful company. If you're not with EXP, you're still with a beautiful company until you think you at least want to open yourself up. Join my meeting, the RERC, whoever invited you on this call. I'm their business partner. You join that call and you see what you're going to get. It's going to blow you away. And I'm going to show you how to do a $6 million deal and refer it to me, and you get 50% of it. You don't have to lift a finger. Don't have to lift a finger. So let's go. Alice. Oh, you're muted.
I just have a really dumb question. Do you know how do we see who's in our upline?
In your enterprise, over at your business center, you'll find it in there. Play with your enterprise. If not, you go into the world. You say, hey, where do I find them upline? They'll direct you.
Yeah, I just have a dumb question. Okay, thank you.
Hey, listen. By the way, there's never a dumb question. Yeah, and what you want to do, Alice, I'm gonna help you a little bit. I've been doing this 4.5 years very seriously, right? Very, very seriously. And every day, I discover something new with this system. It's powerful beyond belief. So don't feel embarrassed to ask that question. Trust me. There's stuff I didn't know for 3 years. Simon.
Fred.
That's my bodyguard. By the way, guys, if you ever think about messing with me, look at this. This is my bodyguard. Go ahead.
So you're not reachable for the next month and a half? Are you going out?
No. I'm just not going to be doing the calls.
Oh, okay. Cool. All right. I just wanted to share with people. Sometimes you got to listen to Fred, listen to your upline. They inspire you. Like, I got 5 potential people that are going through their class right now because I talked to them about real estate. They saw what I was doing. I sat down, had lunch. So they're going through their course. Are they going to be a super agent? You never know, but at least you're helping somebody, guiding them. Now it's going to be the balls on their court if they want to
Yep.
change their lives and get into a situation where they're only making $12.50 an hour, complaining about their financials. And I say, well, educate yourself, come to the real estate world, do it part-time if you have to. And then once you're serious, do it full-time, and it could change your financial world.
Yep. Yep. And by the way, guys, you've got to understand, for those of you who are with EXP and those of you who are not, EXP Realty it's just like anything else. I don't care what company you go with. It's a long play. There are no secrets. There are no secrets in this business. You can come up with all the bright ideas you want, and you think you're going to go up against Keller Williams and Coldwell Banker and Corcoran and Sotheby's and EXP and Real and Fathom, who are investing hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of, and because you got some bright idea, you're going to blow up the business, right? Doesn't work that way. This is about being around the people that understand the business. You have 6 partners. Oh my gosh. And you're not calling on them. I want you to blow whatever your 7th level is up, because they get $4,000 a year off of you. They're here to be your partner. And there's not one of them who say, yeah, don't call me. It won't happen. People don't realize what you have here. It's a long game. Your goal should be in 2 years that you're over 101% of your money because you're a partner in the firm. That's the way lawyers work. They get a share of the whole. And you're here to help other people come in behind you. Think bigger than you've been thinking. We think too little. We don't think big enough. Okay. Anybody else? Gina.
Yes, I have a question. What to say to somebody? I have met this girl who was an agent with somebody else, and I told her all about EXP. She was all excited about it. She wanted to come with me. She got married. She went, and I talked to her the other day, and she was like totally coming with me and everything. And the next thing I know, she says, I only want to be in a team and I want an office. You don't have either. I looked at her Facebook page. She went with EXP, but not with me. I don't know. She didn't tell me.
Gina, I'm going to say this because, and again, there's no criticism because you've been so busy and you're selling real estate and blah, 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 blah. You haven't been on my calendar for 3 months.
No, but she only wants an office. I don't have an office.
It doesn't matter. I can, but you should listen, guys. By the way, do not, by the way, especially if you're in my line, you don't ever talk about EXP. You talk about your business partners. You talk about your business partnership. You don't talk about EXP. You talk about the beauty of your power. You introduce them to my Wednesday. I do that Tuesday. I do it Wednesdays, and I do it Fridays at noon. All you had to do was invite her, and I would have given her so much, she would have been hooked.
What do you say when somebody says, how come you don't have an office? Where am I going to go?
Oh, say, listen, we'll take care of that. You ought to talk to Fred DeFalco. He's so creative, he'd probably get you an office.
I did say that.
Okay, well, you needed to get her to me and you didn't. So that's okay. But look, from now on, that's why I'm bringing up these Wednesdays calls. Join one of those calls. And by the way, that RERC is improving every time. That video was horrible. I just did that initially. The new one coming up, you're going to really like it. A lot more energy, a lot more facts. And I changed it and what I give them, folks, and how to go out and do a commercial sale and how to use public pricing to get a 50% referral fee. It's happened. It's not like I'm just talking and hoping and wishing, unlike a lot of people I know in my life, some related to me. This is real stuff, real stuff. I mean, $6.2 million marina, the girls just happened to be driving by and heard about it. She said, oh, hey, that guy for the Falco, with that public pricing, he might be able to do this. 50%. And then she only referred that one to me. And what do? I get the one next door because of my experience and sell it to the same guy. I gave her 50% of that. That's just the way I roll, my friends. So, and there's people above me that's in your group that'll do the same thing. So please think big, think big, think big. You're with a big opportunity here. If you're not with EXP, I'm just going to encourage you to look at it, look at all the others too, but don't stay in your box. Okay. Anybody else? I know we're a little overtime here. Cool. All right. So thank you all for joining in. Join the Mind Body Mastermind. If you want to, everybody on this call, I'm your business partner. You invite them to that call. Okay. Because I hand them right back over to you and you just let me know ahead of time. Say, hey, I invited Joe Smith to the call. And if you're going to invite somebody, you should be on there smiling, and really into it. Okay. If you're inviting someone on the call. Okay. So in 55 minutes, we're going to wow them and not only wow them, but we're going to give them so much. It's incredible. It's incredible. Okay. Anybody else? Last and final. Cool. What do you think? Great meeting, right? You having everyone share. Chris, you got to speak up. I'm not going to let you go without saying something. She's sick. Poor thing.
What would you like me to speak about? My 3 things I think would be important. Keep your antenna up, set boundaries, and lead with a servant's heart.
Amen. Amen. And she said, keep antennas going. I first met Chris for her onboarding because Jessica takes advantage of my service because she's in my group. She introduced me to Chris to help her with her onboarding. And as soon as I met Chris, I was watching her stuff, what she's done. She was with Better Homes and Gardens, I think. The previous, before you got with us, how many sales did you do that year, that 12 months?
Like 2.
2. And Chris thought she had to have a special license to do commercial sales. I said, Chris, you're a smart girl. Keep your antennas up. Brand yourself as a real estate specialist because if you ever come across a commercial opportunity, she said, oh, no, I'm not licensed commercial, Fred. I said, it doesn't matter. 8 days later, she called me with how much was it? $1,750,000, the first one, right?
That's correct.
How much the second one?
1.808.
And not even in the state.
Tennessee.
How did you do that? And she didn't have to refer it. How do you do that? Because you got to hang out with people that are experienced. We gave Deborah, is Deborah on the call? We gave Deborah an opportunity in Tennessee. And she did the deal with Chris and only did it for $2,500. There's Deborah. And she was happy because she learned a commercial deal. See, folks, that's the beauty about where you are. If you're with eXp Realty, and if you're not, we're better, they're better. It has nothing to do with that. It has to do with where the greater opportunities to build a true business, that you're a true partner, like an attorney that gets tapped on the shoulder after 10 years. You got it day one as soon as you signed that app, but you're not aware of that. You don't know it because us leaders have not done a good enough job really explaining deeply what this is like. So anyway, hopefully see you all Friday on Sandy Sing. Sandy, thank you so much for showing up today. This lady here, oh my gosh, all of you. I just love you. Thank you. I learned so much from every single one of you. I've learned so much from Chris Dobbs. She may not agree with that, but I do. I've learned from every single person. I promise you, that's the way life works. And Ken Markham, I see he's down here. He hasn't even spoken up yet. Come on, Ken, what's going on, man?
How you doing, Fred?
This is my buddy here. he just keeps going. I love it. The ever ready bunny just keeps going and going and going. All right, guys. Thank you. Tiff, it's all yours, dear.
Thank you, Fred. Cutting off the recording. No.
Am I on next week? What is it? Is